The EU are discussing ways to move their political relationship forward. Top European officials are in Moscow holding their first major talks with the Russian leadership since the chilling gas dispute, when Russian gas supplies to Europe through Ukraine came to a halt last month. RT's Anisa Nawe is outside the Kremlin for us now. Hello to you, Anisa. There's been some strain between the two for some time. What's been the mood today?
There has. Well, there was lots of talk about the gas prices, like you mentioned, but the real tension happened when at a press conference representing the EU delegation, of course, was European Commission President Jose Manuel Barroso, when he mentioned that he had spoke earlier with the Russian president about human rights violations and the rule of law in Russia. And this, quite frankly, it was obvious that it got on Vladimir Putin, the prime minister he was holding this joint news conference with. To be frank, it looked like it got on his nerves, and he started bringing up the fact that if Russia is going to speak about these sensitive issues with the European Union, then the European Union needs to speak about other issues, and that there needs to be some consistency. Then human rights need to be spoken about not only in terms of Russia, but in the whole of Europe. He brought up circumstances in the Baltics and countries like Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, where the Russian minority often is confronted with violations of their human rights. He also brought up, of course, Georgia, the independence of South Ossetia and Abkhazia, comparing it to Kosovo, saying why should one country be able to declare its de facto sovereignty and not others. So his main point was that if we're going to discuss these sensitive issues, let's discuss them in full. And that appeared to be where the tension was. Of course, the two both ended up wrapping up the news conference by saying that they're going to work further on cooperation and partnership. And of course, this is a priority for the EU and Russia.
So, Anisa, despite the tension over these sensitive issues, did they manage to achieve what they wanted to from these talks?
Well, both sides at the very beginning mentioned that there would be no sort of breakthrough. This is something that needs to happen. Both sides are putting partnership at the top of their priority list. So obviously there are going to be meetings. They talked a little bit about accession to the WTO for Russia, of course, about the financial crisis. Energy supply and security was at the top of the dialogue, both with the Russian president and with the prime minister. And like I said, in general, about cooperation, also laying the groundwork for a future meeting that will take place on February the 13th for a new EU-Russia partnership agreement.
Okay, for now, thank you very much. That was Anisa Nawe there outside the Kremlin. Thank you for that update.